Madam Fatima Gailani, welcome to In Conversation.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
But madam, what happened? How did the government of President Ashraf Ghani disintegrate in just a matter of days?
Well, it is something that quite few of us here in the negotiation team we expected to happen, and even the Taliban didn't expect it to happen so fast. For them, it was like preparing to go and enter a concrete wall, and they go and see it is a paper wall and just paint it. So for us, the negotiation team, it was heartbreaking because we were very, very close, so close that even the Loya Jirga, the traditional Grand Assembly of Afghanistan, was supposed to happen, formed by both sides.
So you blame Ashraf Ghani?
Well, it is very easy to blame one person and one individual for the whole bad things. It was a chain of wrong things happened from a long time, from 20 years ago. But the last bullet was when a leader flees a country, for God's sake. Of course, it is normal that things will crumble down.
If you were so close, as you say, why is it not possible now to talk to the Taliban and say, come back to the negotiation table, let us try and do this in a good way, in a way that represents all Afghans?
We tried very hard, even when they took Kabul, even after that, for weeks, for days and now weeks, that we have been trying to say is that, yes, that person ran away, but the rest of the country is there. And today, the most important thing is that the people of Afghanistan feel that this is our government, not Ashraf Ghani's government, not Taliban's government, but our government. So now it is very unlikely that such a thing will happen. But my hope is that even in the matter of next 6 months, we will have a proper negotiation, proper talk. And our aim should be one important thing, that to take the people of Afghanistan in consideration. We should not allow another conflict to start. We should not allow pockets of the resistance because they are unhappy. They should not be unhappy. They should be satisfied and have trust in the government.
What about critics who say you're being naive, madam, that the Taliban will do what they want to do because they have the guns and you have none?
Well, first of all, I have been called naive several times. I remember being called the crazy woman who thinks Soviet Union will get out of Afghanistan. I remember that voice who laughed at me, that how could this crazy woman, and I was called crazy woman, would even think that Soviet Union will get out of Afghanistan. The day that the last Russian soldier crossed the bridge and left Afghanistan, I received a big bouquet of flowers with apology that I was called a crazy woman. Today, even if I'm not that young woman who believes in your heart, I want to do everything in our power. I'm not alone. There are lots of people in the negotiation team and outside the negotiation team that we believe that war is not, conflict is not in the favor of Afghan people.
What happened to the 300,000 Afghan soldiers that US President Biden claims were there to defend democracy, to defend elected officials, to defend the negotiation team?
They defend it in some areas, but when you don't like your government, you think that this government is not representing people. If you don't like your leader, if you don't have trust, then you will think that why would I be killed for something that I don't believe in it? So it was a combination of all that. And in some places, the resistance was very, very strong. But eventually, everyone gave up, and here we are. So we must not go into a despair and think that one part is a loser, one part is a winner. We should concentrate that how can we take this opportunity and rebuild the future of Afghanistan on peace and negotiation and reconciliation.
2001, that was the excuse, 9/11, that was the reason why the US and its allies invaded Afghanistan. Was that wrong?
It was a mandate from the UN, and it was a time which was a very, very difficult time, but it was wrong not to have Taliban. Hafiz Mansour voiced something in the Loya Jirga of the emergency Loya Jirga soon after we went back to Afghanistan. He said that why the Americans want to come physically there? Why don't they 10% of what they are spending on their own soldiers to spend to make our national army strong? Because one day they will go. What do we do? I don't believe that there is any country in the world who would like the foreign soldiers to come and protect you. You want your own people to protect you. The Americans came for whatever reason, they are gone now. We must make sure now that we don't have excuse to anyone or reason to anyone to come and stay in our country in order to protect us. We should be able to do that.
The ostensible reason, though, was terrorism. Are you afraid of ISIS? Are you afraid of ISIS-K? Or we can use the correct term, Daesh. They still exist in Afghanistan. They control parts of Afghanistan, parts that the Taliban cannot even control.
I am very worried. And I expressed this worry several times for the last 4 weeks, because I don't want the Taliban to be in the position of the past governments, that they will be sitting in the armored car, on one side the resistance, on the other side of Daesh, and they are in the armored car and ordinary people will die in the street. This should not happen. The resistance should be stopped not by force, but with negotiation and reconciliation. And then everybody in Afghanistan should concentrate on getting rid of the of Daesh. It happened in another country before. Why shouldn't it happen in our country? They are just in a very small area. They should be taken care of.
If we look at some of the cities in Afghanistan, we're beginning to see at least one demonstration in Herat by women, for women. Do you think that is the way forward?
Well, women of Afghanistan are entitled to do whatever they think is right for that moment. I cannot judge them to tell them that what to do and what not to do. But what I'm saying is that let's together make sure, with conversation, with negotiation of women, with the elite of Taliban, to make them understand that we don't want anything further and outside what are we entitled as Muslims and Afghans. The case is that the tradition of some Afghani tradition of the tribal system and all that must not be mixed with Islam. Must be a clear cut between what is Islam and what is a tradition which is sometimes even against Islam.
But do you believe that the Taliban leadership will actually enforce that and will actually make sure that their young warriors or their young soldiers on the streets, in Kabul, in Herat, don't take women and beat them just because they are going in public to go to the bank with their mothers, which has been happening.
Don't forget that these young men in the streets of cities of Kabul or other big cities like Herat, they have never had an encounter a woman. They were raised in madrasas, and from there they went to the battlefields. They have to get used to the reality of normal life. I'm not saying that it was right, that what they have done. No, it is wrong. Because if the Taliban leadership were not sure, they shouldn't have made those promises that they have made. I'm sure that we will come to an understanding. And these young men, eventually they go home, and eventually the regular police will be formed, that I hope very soon, and the regular army will be formed, I hope very soon. And then we will go towards normalcy. Should we lower our expectation? Absolutely not. But I also expect the international community to understand that the values that people of Afghanistan, not just Taliban, the people of Afghanistan have, is not forgotten. Women of Afghanistan, they know very well. And even the international community should support our way of dealing with these kind of things. We know how to deal with it. Women of Afghanistan are strong. They will prevail.
Even if the Taliban believe that women don't have the right to work, don't have the right to an education, perhaps they may not have said it to you, but that you should not even be on a negotiation team?
They never told me that. Quite frankly, not just me, all four of us, we were dealt with great respect, and they were answering our questions and addressing us exactly equal to all our male colleagues. But I need to look at the full side of the cup. In Rome, Maulawi Hanafi, on behalf of the Taliban, promised that women will be educated, women are allowed to work, women are allowed in political participation and all that. Let's see it in practice. But the reality of Afghanistan cannot ignore women. Never in the history of Afghanistan we had so many educated women. Women of Afghanistan are Muslim women, aware of their tradition, aware of their culture, and they know exactly how to behave, and they have been behaving that way.
Do you think that social media has made things different now?
I think the social media has changed many things, not just in Afghanistan, everywhere. And don't forget that those young Taliban, they will be also exposed to see what is right, what is wrong. And people inside and outside Afghanistan will see what is exactly happening. And the elite of the Taliban will see what the ordinary Taliban are doing on the field and correct it immediately.
Is corruption the root of everything? And without stopping that, nothing can be improved?
It is a very important thing you said, that every time during negotiations, we spoke about our values. And when we were hitting the ball would come from the Taliban side of the table, corruption. The election was corrupted. This was corrupted. They made a promise that corruption will be their priority to root it out. I hope so. I hope so, because this was my pain during the last 20 years. It was my pain to see that how bad corruption was. This is the pain of every single Afghan. We will welcome it. Let's do it together. Let's start it together. We will be very happy.
Can the leopard change its spots?
Well, I have seen it before. I think sometimes they do.
You will have no means of enforcing anything, though, madam. There is no Afghan army.
Do you think that force is only army? Do you really believe that force is only army? What about the force of people, the hope of people, the desire of people, and the want of people? How many people flee from Afghanistan? Only 1%. The rest of Afghanistan is put there, and they are watching, and they want to live happily. They want to live in peace. They want to live in prosperity. They want to see the promises to be fulfilled.
So, can Afghans save Afghanistan?
This is their duty to save Afghanistan. You saw that how quickly, not once, not twice, several times, people came in the name of helping us and they disappeared. We have to learn how to make a potential rich country rich. We have to make a country of different ethnic groups. Someone will look like me, some people from central Afghanistan will look like you, and some with blue eyes and blonde. So we are a mountainous country with different ethnic groups. We speak different languages. We have different kind of cultures, but we are all Afghans. We have to show that what kind of a country we are hoping to have in the future.
But when the world looks at Afghanistan, they think of it as a Muslim state. But that's not true. It's multicultural and multilingual. Is there really one Afghan nation?
I was born and grew up in that Afghanistan. I was I was already a mother when the communist coup happened and the Russian invasion. I was educated in that Afghanistan that I'm talking about. Sometimes I wish I could bring this chip out and play it for you, that what was the Afghanistan I lived in? Afghanistan of unity, Afghanistan of all languages.
Madam, then what happened?
I have no doubt in my mind what happened. A coup was staged by the Russians, by President Prince Dawood. Then, after that, a communist coup and the Russian invasion. That happened to us. When a country is destroyed, a small country is destroyed by one of the superpowers of the time, and then it was a wonderful place that the Cold War was going to be fought there. Every country in our region, they thought, oh, this is the best time to score with the other neighbor, score their things. That's what happened in Afghanistan. Afghanistan turned in a matter of months to a battlefield for everybody and anybody around us.
But won't that continue even with the US troops withdrawal? Because we still have Pakistan, we still have Saudi Arabia. They still play a very large role. They supported the Taliban in the 1990s. What's going to happen now?
My hope is that they should understand, our immediate neighbors, as well as the region, that a peaceful Afghanistan is in favor of everyone else. But as you said it very nicely earlier, it is up to Afghan people to prove. It is up to the Taliban's government now to become the Afghan government and prove that they have support of people, and prove that we will have a good relationship with our neighbors. We would have very good relationship with the extended region, but we will not allow anybody to use Afghanistan as the base for their political scorings.
Madam, you've been suffering from cancer and you are now close to 70 years old. Do you think that anything will be solved in your lifetime?
I was 26 that I started the struggle. Now I am very close to 70. And I still didn't lose hope. And I really believe this is the first time it is up to us, really. We should not give up. I will not give up. And people like me that who are staying in Afghanistan should not give up. And from the Taliban side, my request is, let's talk. Let's solve the problems ourselves. Let's have an open heart. Let's not see each other as a victor and the one who had fallen. No, we are the people of Afghanistan. We cannot get rid of each other. Yes, the mistake was made in the past. Let's not repeat that mistake.
Will you be going back to Kabul?
Yes, as I said, I have to go and see my doctor, and then mid-October, inshallah, I will be returning to Afghanistan.
And you are not afraid?
My husband is there, my brothers are there, my family is there. So this is my home.
And you are not afraid that they will throw you into jail or do even worse?
No, I'm not scared of Taliban, but I am scared of those people who will harm the Afghan people. And we have to all get together to get rid of that problem. And this problem is two. One is the outsiders who come under the names as terrorists. And on the other side, this unity of Afghanistan, which is even a bigger enemy. I see it as my duty today again, that I need to go inside Afghanistan, even if I play a very, very, very narrow, small role, then I have to do it.
Our very, very best wishes to you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you. I need it.